hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. Personally, the whole team, $1 million plus.
We had an issue with CryptoZoo where our lead developer took the code that he made, fled to Switzerland, and like held it hostage for $1 million.
He literally never gave me anything at all, ever. Eddie promised me, 5% of the tokens and $1 million. He literally never paid me.
This reporter says Eddie's entire story is fake.
The biggest reason it failed, in my opinion.
Doug, I'm not the bad guy here.
Yeah.
There's some actual out there.
Yeah.
And it's not me. Like, I'm here to build.
Easy to link up and build, bro.
Welcome to part 3. So far, we've discovered fake orphans, millions of dollars stolen, and a cast of sleazy characters. But now, it's time to put it all together. What is the truth? And who's to blame? We're going to start by going through leaked text messages of the CryptoZoo team to understand all of their motivation. Then we'll go to blockchain evidence and show who sold what. And finally, we'll confront some of the people responsible. But before we can do any of that, we have to start in March of 2021, 6 months before the token even launched. Our 4 suspects, Logan, Crypto King, Eddie, and Jeff, are in a group chat discussing CryptoZoo, which starts as a copy of something else. Quote, "I like imitating CryptoKitties," Jake the Crypto King says. Logan replies, "I agree." And initially, it wasn't called CryptoZoo at all. It was called Crypto Pets, and they were gonna sell a pets token. And pretty early on, it became clear this was all about money, how they were gonna sell this thing to investors. In fact, Crypto King said he thought it was worth at least $20 million in only 6 months, saying the range is insane. $20 to $210 million. It's beautiful wherever we land. Eddie jumped in at this point and talked about how he could sell the project as an investment to a friend, Matt Higgins, saying, quote, "He has to spend that $350 million somewhere. Why not us?" And Logan says, "I love that idea." Crypto King.
Matt is Steve Ross's money, also chairman of Dolphins, who did a SPAC with Gary Vee for $300 million. All the best. All the best.
$50 million somewhere. Why not us? And Logan says, "I love that idea." Crypto King, "I'm in." And of course, you have Jeff saying, "Let's go." So you can see right there, they wanted to sell this game before it had even launched. Now later, Eddie amends the list of investors and says, quote, "Investors will be Gary Vee, Todd Morley, James Altucher, Ryan Kavanaugh, and others confirmed on my end."
Ryan Kavanaugh. That's crazy. Dude, all the best. All the best. All the best. Dude, that's great. That's a villain from the H3 cinematic universe, for those of you who don't know. You might have mistaken the figure that you just saw, that beautiful ginger man with famous convicted rapist Harvey Weinstein. No, that's Ryan Kavanaugh.
Todd Morley, James Altucher, Ryan Kavanaugh.
Yeah, that's not Harvey Weinstein. You are looking at Ryan Kavanaugh, okay? Here. I know it's like half of his face, so it makes it even harder to tell. You're like, oh, that's Harvey Weinstein. Like, nope, that's Ryan Kavanaugh, okay?
And others confirmed on my end. Supposedly, they had $100 million of investment interest. Now, I actually went to some of these investors and asked if this was true, and the one person who responded denied it, Ryan Kavanaugh. Quote, "Nope, not even a little bit." So this looks like it could be yet another lie from Eddie Ibanez, but either way, it looks like there was more issues than just finding investors, because the team wanted to pre-sell tokens, and not everyone was sure it would be legal. Jake the Crypto King mentions that, quote, "If we have a pre-sale, it opens us up to SEC issues." And Jeff agrees and says, "Don't want to do anything that brings the SEC eyeballs." Now, not everyone wanted to be so cautious, though. Logan argues everyone does pre-sale with coins. Eddie agrees. He says, "You absolutely can do it. I have the SEC down, private and pre-sale." And honestly, it was quite the dilemma for this team who wanted money. Do a pre-sale, make millions, but, you have these potential legal issues. Don't do it, you make less money. So Crypto King comes up with a middle solution. He says, if we can't sell, no pre-sale. We can still trade them in the liquidity pool. And this is the start of a new disaster, which takes a bit of explaining. Now, just so we're clear, a pre-sale is where you sell investors coins, usually at a discount, before you've launched. And then when you launch, you give them those coins. Now, like I said, the team didn't want to do that. So what they did instead was they bought the tokens on the open market right after launch. But they tried to get clever with it because they didn't actually announce that they were launching this coin at all. They stealth launched it on June 11th and didn't announce this token through Logan until August 18th, meaning they had all that time to silently buy up as much of the supply at a steep discount as they wanted. And the idea here was that doing this, the team could get these tokens extremely cheaply, which is kind of like a pre-sale, but without all the SEC troubles. And Crypto King makes this clear on June 7th when he says, quote, launch of the liquidity pool is where huge money will be made because you get in cheaper. And then says, we, the team, begin buying out the liquidity pool. Once the team has exhausted funds for the liquidity pool buying, we send the contract address to friends, family, investors who want to be able to get in. So obviously the plan is we buy first, then we give it to our close friends and family, and then maybe the public eventually, right? And even the day before, Crypto King reminds everyone, quote, Zoo Day is tomorrow. I highly recommend everyone get a few $100 to a few $1,000 in Zoo when it goes live. It will likely 10 to 1,000x. So that was their plan. Rather than doing a pre-sale, they were going to do this stealth launch and hopefully get tokens cheaply the same way, but without all the legal troubles. Or at least that was the plan. Because on stealth launch day, this is where things first started to go wrong for the team. At first, everything seemed to go normal. The team sat in a circle and literally bought it out as planned. But the next day, Crypto King says something odd. Quote, a bot is playing with our token. Kind of cool to watch them work. But he doesn't mention who this bot is. And he also says the asshole finished selling, but doesn't mention who that is. Now, Jeff, Logan's manager, replies upset. He says, how do we prevent someone doing what they just did again? We went from a $130 million to $26 million market cap in 2 hours. It's not cool to watch. Logan jumps in. Yeah, wait, how did that happen? And he also says, what asshole? How did anyone get this token except for us and none of us sold?
Dude, I love this. It's like Den of Thieves, dude. You literally have just like a bunch of fucking crooked scammers in a room and like they can't stop scamming. So they're like scamming each other. Now you got the scammers scamming one another, which is ironic because like 90% of the crypto loyalists are also trying to become scammers themselves and end up getting scammed. Because there's two different types of people that are getting into the multi-level marketing scheme, like the idiots and the fucking idiots who think they're smarter than the rest of the idiots, but are not actually smarter than the rest of the idiots, right? So it's the people who are like, oh, I'm really desperate and I'm not really smart. I think like maybe I can make money this way. I'm not going to think about it. Versus the guys who are like, oh, I kind of know it's a scam, but like I am smarter than the average idiot, so I can sell it to like a bunch of other people and they'll be the bag holders. Of course, the irony is that like they themselves are the bag holders. So basically what's happening in this crypto Among Us fuckfest is that they decided to, turn on, friendly fire for a moment and it fucked them up.
I think actually this is incredibly suspicious because the implication of what Logan's saying is, hey, we tried to scheme this really well. We tried to all buy this without letting anyone know. How did anyone else figure out we were buying it, right? And this is where a fight ensues that's going to become really interesting. Crypto King deflects the question by saying, my buyer pushed it back up to $40 million. And Logan says, no, bro, F your buyer. Explain to me what just happened and how there were 30 token holders. And Jake tries to explain that this was just traders and bots happening to find the token. But Logan says only 5 of us knew about it. Jake says, well, many people chase volume and new tokens. And to some extent, he's kind of right. But Logan replies, cap. He doesn't believe it. Quote, I can't be the only one who thinks that's too incredibly convenient. Like,
he didn't fucking hit him with the cap. No, dude, this suspense, dude. Oh my God, the drama. The suspense. He hit him with the cap, dude. No cap. Shit's popping off.
Someone was tipped off. And look, no one's more critical of Logan than me. But as I'm reading these texts, I was kind of like agreeing. Like, yeah, it does seem too nonchalant when somebody's ruining your secret plot. You know what I mean? Because Crypto King was acting very...
By the way, of course, as Coffeezilla also pointed out, that the irony there is that like that is basically an admission of guilt. I mean, that entire text chain is an admission of guilt. Like, his goal was to fuck people over. Like, their goal was to do a rug pull. Like, there is no getting out of that. It's just that it also seems like he simultaneously got.
very strange. He says, "We created $40 million out of thin air. This is a success." Logan replies, "This nonchalance worries me. F 40 million. It was at 120 million," which again, it's all about the money with these guys. But truth be told, I did agree that Crypto King's attitude seemed strange in these texts. I mean, he's not wrong that bots are a thing. Traders are a thing. But it sounded...
Traders are a thing, but what about traders with an A and an I and a T and an O and an R? Dun, dun, dun.
Sounded like he didn't want anyone to look into it. So, naturally, I looked into it. And what I found surprised me, because there were bots, but there's also unusual human activity during this time. So I tracked the 5 biggest buyers of this zoo coin. And lo and behold, this is what I found. Logan was one of the biggest buyers, which is what you'd expect, but he wasn't the biggest. In fact, 2 of the biggest wallets seem to be associated with Crypto King himself. And here's where I paused. I said, wait a second. Why did this guy buy more zoo tokens than Logan when this is mostly Logan's project? I thought Crypto King was a small part of this team. And so to get more info on this, I actually got access to an internal meeting note from the day of June 11th, which they called Zoo Day. And in it, we find actually some interesting information. We see that 5 founders bought in. They apparently were, quote, trading in circles until each person maxed out. But on the list of buyers and how much they spent are only 4 people, when we know 5 people bought. We have Danny, Logan's assistant, for 20K, Logan Paul for 100K, Jeff at 100K, and Eddie at 100K, but Crypto King is nowhere to be found. And yet, on the blockchain, I have him putting in $200,000 worth. And this number, by the way, seemingly is confirmed in a conversation I had with Crypto King, where he said, "My 200K investment." And the reason this is important is because it does imply that something shady was going on the day of the stealth launch. Because Crypto King had a relatively small role in this whole project. He was the advisor, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Like you can see from the internal meeting notes, they have a breakdown of who's getting what in terms of founder tokens, and like Logan Paul's getting 51%. And
I'm sorry. If you are dealing with a man who calls himself Crypto King, you kind of deserve to get fucked over by him, okay? Especially when the project that you have him on board for quite literally is about fucking over other people. Okay, like you're like, "Oh, dude, let's bring on the Scam King on our scamming project where we will be scamming people." And then you're like, "Oh, what? He fucking scammed us? That's not the Scam King, dude. What?"
Eddie's getting 30%, Jeff's getting 10%, Jake's only getting 5%.
I'm just saying, it's like literally a story as old as time itself. This is Reservoir Dogs, okay? This is like No Honor Among Thieves. It's just like basically the oldest story. You do a fucking bank heist, things go wrong because like some of the motherfuckers that you're working with on the bank heist want to kill you and get more of the money.
Of tokens, but he has the most of these like stealth launch tokens, which makes no sense. And it got me thinking that maybe what explains this suspicious behavior around like, "Oh, don't worry about who is buying at the time of the launch," maybe that's explained because perhaps no one knew that he was buying up large parts of the token supply. Maybe he was buying it to sell later. Now, of course, that's speculation, so that's why I confronted Crypto King on all of this. But before we get to that call, let's address the elephant in the room.
OnlyFan5/HasanAbi. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs.
Logan didn't accuse Crypto King of being a scam. It was the other way around. Crypto King told Logan Paul he was a scammer. And the question is, why? Well, to answer that, we have to go from June, the stealth launch date, to September 1st, the official launch date of...
Yeah, bro. You got by a guy you hired to teach you how to do scamming, and he fucking scammed you.
CryptoZoo.
September 1st, cryptozoo.co.
Now, the day of the launch was a bit strange because you might think, well, they already have a token, right? But the first thing they did was actually create a new zoo token with a different code, but the same name. And they actually airdropped all the holders of the first zoo token with an identical amount of those coins on the second zoo token. So you might be wondering, why did they do that? Well, maybe it's to change the smart contract, but maybe it's because of what they did do. They blacklisted some of the holders. In other words, they didn't airdrop to everyone, including Jake the Crypto King. They excluded his wallets so it couldn't get these Zoo coins. Jake texts the group about this the next day, saying, quote, "The Zoo team made a major error this weekend. They chose not to communicate, mint a new token, and airdrop it to whatever wallets they determined fit. This decision came from Eddie and Logan, and I had no part in it. 11,250 wallets before the airdrop, under 11,000 after. They chose to blacklist and ban over 200 wallets. Now, who those wallets are, I have no idea."
Bro, who scams the scammers, dog? This is crazy. It's like everybody's got a gun trained on one another, dude. This is kind of awesome. It's scamception.
But he continues, quote, "As a founder like Logan, Jeff, Eddie, and Danny, I had purchased a large quantity of tokens. 5+ of my wallets had been blacklisted from the original team's buys." Now, I don't know why he had 5+ wallets there, but okay. He says 80+ billion Zoo tokens were confiscated from me to date without any communication. So, wow. That's why Crypto King accused Logan of stealing from him or scamming. It's because he was frozen out of a lot of his wallets. And then we get to the text you guys all know. He says, "Logan, you stole $40 million. You're a scammer. You're a con artist, all that stuff. You betrayed your community. The reality is you aren't that guy." And Logan responds, "Oh, Jake, trust me, bro. I am
Dun, dun, dun!
Q in the arms of an angel." And look, I mean, what do we make of this? Well, I don't know. I can't root for either of these guys because it sounds like...
Yeah, it's awesome. They're both fucking awful. And this is what makes it awesome. Okay? And like, at least Logan has redeeming qualities, like, I don't know, putting his mind into, and his body into fucking working out hard and at least like doing well in the WWE circuit, you know what I mean? Like that's, but like the crypto guy has nothing, but that is not a redeemable enough quality for him to be able to fucking turn around and scam millions of motherfuckers. There's no one that is a winner in this story except for all of us who are watching the story from what a dumb take. How does that redeem a person? No, I'm saying like in between these two guys on literally scraping the bottom of the barrel of humanity on who is going to be one of the absolute worst. Well, the bald guy is somehow still a little bit over him, but like don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Like they're still both at the end of the pile. The only people that are enjoying the process are the motherfuckers who didn't get fucked over like us. We are the only winners in this situation.
Sounds like Logan stabbed him in the back, but it sounds like Crypto King made...
Bro, you know what's really funny about this? Like I've never made an indication that like I am in favor of Logan Paul in any of this. And because I said he's better than the bald guy, at least, even though they're both pieces of shit, people literally lost their minds. Like I didn't even fucking say like Logan is good. I said he has one redeeming quality at least. People love to misinterpret as much as they can. I argue Logan is worse because he exploits his so-called redeeming qualities. Have you hung out with Logan? I have not. Wasn't angling it at you. Was just saying he's a piece of shit. I was agreeing with you. Yes. Because you constantly go to bat for right-wing freaks who work out like Liver King. I mean, then work out, I guess. You know what I mean? Work out. No matter how hard you work, though, at the top of the hour, the 3-minute ad break is going to come for you. Okay? And you're not going to be able to outwork your way out of that 3-minute ad break. But there is something you can do. That is, of course, you can subscribe for $5 or for free. That's right. Twitch Prime is free, and you can use it here to avoid the top of the hour ad break. You can also work really hard to get gifted a sub. If you're lucky, you can get gifted a sub, and that's another way you can avoid the top of the hour ad break. Here's a 3-minute ad break now.
May have stabbed him in the back in the first place, right? Because it does appear like he bought...
Not gonna lie, this is coming from a wrestling fan. Logan is insanely good at WWE. Still fuck him, though. In some ways, I think that makes him an even worse person because it's like, dude, you could just like do normal things. There are plenty of content creators who don't fucking hyper focus on like trying to exhaust their audience for every fucking dime that they have. You know what I mean? You're great. You're great. No, he is. He's a great fucking wrestler, dude. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit. That makes it almost worse because he's like, he could just make like podcasts and do the wrestling thing and like just do the vlogging thing. Like he just doesn't need to do more than just basic entertainer shit, and he will be a multimillionaire for the rest of his fucking life. Okay? But it's like, it doesn't matter. He has to be like, oh, I have to scam. I can't sit here. I have to fucking scam. It's like, bro, you're a multimillionaire. You're a multimillionaire. What the fuck are you doing? It blows my mind. But even the worst motherfucker on the planet, you can still find like, you know, sometimes there are outs for them. You know what I mean? Outs as in like things that they could just fucking use to make a positive change in their lives. Devil Trout, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gift subs. And King Ghidorah, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gift subs. These motherfuckers, for some reason, like I really thought when he did the Floyd Mayweather fight, when he actually fucking worked out really hard, and when he like did the WWE shit, I legitimately thought like, you know, maybe he's gonna change. Maybe this is like his new thing. This is like what he's good at, and he will just like hyper focus on something that he's like whoever he would just like hyper focus on things that he's actually good at. Nope. I was so wrong, dude. I was the most wrong. He just can't stop it. He can't stop himself. It's crazy. Stalin killed so many people, but he's all right since that dude could bench plates. No, but Stalin is actually a great example. He killed so many people. A big chunk of those motherfuckers were also Nazis, so that was like pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, what are you going to fucking act like the USSR wasn't goated at Nazi murder? Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, let's continue.
Tokens that maybe everyone didn't know about. So I'm really not a fan of anyone in this situation. And by the way, this whole thing was structured so misleadingly from the beginning. I have to talk to you a bit about it because you might think that these tokens were the only tokens they had, but it's not even true. In the distribution section of Zoo's white paper, they say there's 2 trillion tokens, and a quarter of that are allocated to development, marketing, and founders. Those aren't even the tokens we're talking about right now, because they claim that those tokens were locked up for 6 months, and then afterwards, 10% was unlocked every month. And if that's true, there would be no reason for these funds to be blacklisted, right? Why would you blacklist something that would be locked up? And the answer is because, well, the founders had more than one set of tokens. Not only did they supposedly have these founder tokens that were locked up and couldn't be sold, these stealth launch tokens were different from that. It's like a whole different thing. And the tokens that they bought, that all of these guys bought, they could sell at basically any time because they weren't locked up, which is a massive problem. And this fact was explicitly laid out in their meeting notes with only one rule. They say, quote, no selling until $200 million market cap, and don't impact the market more than 3%, and not impact the market more than 10% in a day. And by the way, this is basically conspiracy to manipulate a market. You know, they're literally having insider rules for how to sell, but we're going to look past that, right? Because these rules.
It's funny because like they're such fucking like they're such big time scammers that like you can overlook a very obvious grift within the grift, and because like it's distracting from the main grift. It's wild. It's just like, let's pass the market manipulation. Okay, let's pass the market manipulation here that is like very explicitly written. Okay, and get to the meat of the story.
Eventually kind of changed. A text from Logan's manager, Jeff Levin, came to the group chat, Zoo Founders, saying, guys, new and absolute rules. No one is to sell or transfer any Zoo. Logan's going to make the call when we can make moves. And Logan replies, your tokens do not leave your wallet. This is a game. Now, that all sounds well and good. Don't sell your tokens, but
yeah, I mean, they're not holding because they believe in the tokens. Remember, this is part 3 of the fucking story, but like there is no animals to begin with. The animals that exist are dog shit. They're just like fucking like basic photoshopped animals. Half of the eggs don't even crack. So like the only reason why they're holding at this point is for maximizing. the amount of money that they can get when they inevitably rug pull together, which is crazy. That's a crime. They're having crime talk. That conversation is like, we're doing crime talk, okay? Like, people that do that went to jail. Jordan Belfort went to jail, which is ironic because now he does this exact same thing in the crypto sphere, which is pretty funny. And again, proves the fucking point that I was making to all of you dumb motherfuckers who were trying to tell me like, oh, fiat currency is just as unregulated as like cryptocurrency, as a matter of fact. Yeah, guess what, dude? Jordan Belfort not going back to prison for all the crypto shit he's pulling off, which is ironically the exact same shit he wrote the book on and went to jail for. They're having a crime-versation. Yes.
The reality was, I mean, they're just kind of trusting each other because these tokens that they're talking about, they're unlocked. They're not locked up, and they could sell it at any time. And I guess the question on my mind is that why Crypto King's tokens were blacklisted? Because they thought he would sell? Or maybe it's just the fact they found out he bought and they didn't know about all those tokens. It's honestly hard to say without knowing more evidence. And this is where we're going to jump into the blockchain. Now, I've tracked the wallets of the entire team and identified the largest seller of Zoo in the team. And it wasn't Jeff. It wasn't Danny. It wasn't even Logan. It was Crypto King. Crypto King sold, by my calculations, millions of dollars.
Never trust a bald.
And I know what you're thinking. How's that possible, right? I thought his tokens were blacklisted the day of the official launch. How could he sell that much? Well, the answer is that not all of his tokens were blacklisted. He had even more tokens behind the scenes. And what's worse, the CryptoZoo team actually gave him back a lot of his blacklisted tokens, which I guess you can see as a good thing or a bad thing because he then turned around and sold those tokens, right? And from my blockchain analysis across his blacklisted tokens he got back and the tokens that he had squirreled away the whole time, he ended up making $6 million. He did this by sending out tokens from these larger wallets to dozens of smaller wallets, selling it, and then sending the money to final cash out wallets. So I used those final wallets to calculate the amount he made. Now, I know, look, it's a lot to accuse someone of selling $6 million in a project that doesn't even work. It's a giant scam. So I wanted to give him a chance to defend himself. So I got on a call with Crypto King. And here's what he said when I finally revealed that I knew he had sold.
It's going to change this whole fucking story. Yeah, I'll go on the record for you. And yes, I'm going to show you the text message that say we can sell at these ascending market caps. And literally, I'm going to 100%. It sounds like your biggest issue with me is that I sold. And if that's your biggest issue with me, that's the truth.
Wow, that is a big admission. Selling tokens for a project that you're an advisor on when the project has never been delivered.
Wait, what the fuck? Does he not understand that? Like, oh God. No, I'm sorry, man. Some people need to go to jail. Like, that's crazy. At a certain point, we got to be like, all right, you got to throw some motherfuckers in jail, not just SBF. You know what I mean? Because that's crazy. Like, he's like angry, not about the rug pull that he participated in, which is very obvious, but instead that he like rug pulled before the rest of the rug pullers. Like, how do you openly admit that? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I thought you were against the criminal justice system. What? I want to know where people get the HasanAbi takes from, because it sure ain't me. Like, you think I'm against the criminal justice system? Like, as in just the concept of crime and punishment in general. Like, I think that, like, you should be able to do the crime and it's fine. Like, it's just okay. Or is it because you saw me watch a high-speed chase where I said, I love crime. I am a fan of crime. Crime is cool. And you were like, this guy must be serious about this. You've said, and I quote, this is a pro-crime stream. It's true. Yes. I did vote for crime in the Los Angeles mayoral race as well. So there is that reality. What would you do if you invested 6 figures and it was stolen from you? You spent a year of your life working and weren't paid. Put yourself in my shoes and sweating. No, I actually thank God for the solid coverage. I'll go wipe my tears with a $1 million watch. Oh, dude, sick. A lot of people have tried to take advantage of in the crypto space. It hasn't ended well for any of them. Wait, I don't understand. But you very openly got on the team as like the scam consultant. He said Coffeezilla's coverage has been solid. Like, did you not watch the video? You're the scam consultant. Like, sure, you scammed the scammers before they could scam everybody else. And you, like, scammed them out of, like, more of a scam that they would be able to pull off otherwise. But, like, what? Crime against capitalism is Hasan's private.
Although Crypto King insists that it wasn't $6 million and he wasn't trying to rug a project. In fact, really, he might.
It's your chat's mission to always clip you out of context. It's no wonder people have a skewed perception of you. I mean, that perception is so powerful that, like, people literally, I mean, there is more to that. It's not just like chatters clipping me out of context. Let's be fucking real. I'm going to get back to the video in a second. I'm going to roll it back real quick because I do want to say something. Yeah, I know the Tory Lanez verdict will be read at 3:15. It's not just that. It's also that, like, people have already put me in a box, and no matter how much I ask for charitability, people refuse to give it because, like, I've seen, like, a lot of the Bradley Martin clips where it's, like, very clearly I'm joking. I'm like, if you go to the gym, you're gay. And, like, the entire fucking responses to that, and, like, Bradley's laughing at it, you know what I mean? Like, we're clearly fucking memeing around, and everyone was like, you have long hair like woman. Dude, gay? I'm not, fuck you, you're gay. And it's like, dude, like, that's crazy. What the fuck? Anyway.
That is a big admission. Selling tokens for a project that you're an advisor on when the project has never been delivered. Although Crypto King insists that it wasn't $6 million and he wasn't trying to rug a project. In fact, really, he might be the one who got screwed over in all of this.
Like, I didn't sell $6 million worth. That's going to be other wallets, but that's probably not going to be able to be me being able to be proven, except for them saying, can you send BNB to all these different wallets for me? Which that I'll be able to show you that I was giving BNB to the whole team. I will also be able to show you that I was a 5% holder of the Zoo tokens that I was promised to be given over the 3-month period, was never given. I can also show you that I was frozen out and was never given the 15 billion tokens back that I paid for in cash. So
Okay.
I can show you all of those things on the record, and then you can also say that I did sell, which is also true.
Yep.
Well, as long as it's accompanied with he was a founder that was supposed to be given 5% of the project and was never given the token or paid, worked for almost a year on the project. As long as that goes in with it, then at least that tells my side of the story so people understand that it's not like I was trying to rug a.
Dude, what does Coffeezilla have? Like, I feel like there's he puts a spell on every scammer, dude. They just, I guess maybe it's like a sense of entitlement from making a fuckload of money, scamming a bunch of idiots on the internet. And it's like also partially just a lack of clear-cut accountability, no regulatory agency that is in charge of like investigating these things that like, they just straight up call him up to be like, dude, I did a scam and I'm going to do it again. And it was fucking awesome. And I loved it. And like, fuck all the broke boys that are mad because like I fucked them over. Click. I don't get it. Like, what is it? Why are they just openly calling him all the time? To be like, hey, I'm the biggest scammer, actually. I've done so much awful shit, dude.
Project. It's like I put $250,000 into a project plus 6 months of time, and the founder never did anything he said he was going to do, and then hired a bunch of devs that didn't do what they were going to do. And every time I gave advice, the advice was I was told to fuck off. So it can be that story, or it can be he sold all this amount and he got in early. Well, yeah, that's like 1% of it though.
Incredible. He sounds like he views himself as the victim, or at least like he got screwed too, which just has to win the gold medal for me for mental gymnastics because, I mean, he literally had put $200,000 into this and he says he made millions of dollars. Even if you take him at his word that he didn't make the full 6 million, he admits to me later that it might be a pretty close guess. He tells me via text, quote, "I don't care if you tell people I sold a few million and leave it at that." Well, okay, $6 million, a few million dollars, it's millions of dollars, right? Millions of dollars when you only put in $200,000 into a project that's never been delivered, doesn't work, scammed people out of their money. How is he saying he's the one who's in the wrong? Well, in his view, what he did was not wrong. It might have been arguably unethical, but it wasn't illegal. And what Logan did, well, that was illegal.
You can say the timing was bad and it was inappropriate to sell, but the reality is I bought tokens open market and sold them open market. So there was nothing illegal about that. Ethically, arguable. The rest that Logan did to me was ethically wrong and illegal.
Wait, what? No, it definitely is. What? Like, if these were securities, what he did would land him in prison. Okay? That's insane. Like, what do you mean it's not illegal? Nothing is illegal, motherfucker. It's cryptocurrency. Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want, clearly. I don't understand. He just said, oh, well, nothing I did was illegal. Well, technically, nothing Logan did is illegal either. Securities are secured. These are fraudities. Wait, so is all of this illegal? Is Crypto King technically right? No, Crypto King is not right. Because either all of it is illegal, including what Crypto King did, or none of it is illegal, including what Crypto King did, which is true. The second part is unfortunately true. None of this is technically illegal. It would be very illegal. Everything that they did would be very illegal if done on the stock market with securities. That would be securities fraud. That would be a conspiracy, insider trading, like everything. Okay, you can't just do that. But it's not regulated. So technically, it's almost like a, well, you knew the risks when you signed up, idiot type thing. You know what I mean? I guess what Logan did was illegal because he didn't give Crypto King the tokens he was promised. Yeah, he made a contract void, which in libertarian paradise is the worst thing you can do. You know what I mean? It's just, it all works on contracts. So if you fuck over someone and like not follow through on the contract, on your contractual obligations, like you fucked it up. That's so illegal.
Now, what do I think of all this finger pointing? Well, I think it's pretty wild to try to make yourself look like the lesser of two evils when you made millions of dollars and investors lost millions. I just do. Now, at the same time, I want to be fair to Crypto King. He's not the only one who sold here. But I also have to say, not everyone from the founders did sell. For example, Jeff, Logan's manager, to my knowledge, never sold. Neither did Logan Paul, which was a huge surprise. All their wallets that I tracked, held on to their tokens, which is good, and to their credit for a game that doesn't work. But you know who did sell? Eddie Ibanez, the guy who didn't pay the initial devs, the supposed MIT orphan. Yeah, from what I could see, his initial wallet got a ton of zoo, sent it to a bunch of smaller wallets.
No. So these fucking crypto bros came in on a project. Logan was like, I can't. Okay, to summarize what just happened. Oh my God. Summarize what happened. Logan was like, we want to fuck over people, okay? What do I have? An audience. What do I want? Money. More money. Give me money, okay? That's what he said. So he was like, I don't know how to do this shit myself well enough. Let's connect with a bunch of crypto people. So they went to this fucking stake guy. Eddie is apparently a stake guy as well. And they went to Crypto King, who used to be what, the Pokemon King or something? And then he's just a scammer. They went to two scammers. And they basically were like, let's fucking get together. Let's get together. Let's set up this fucking thing. Let's, hold on to our coin and then eventually sell it at a date where oh, that's a different Eddie? Okay, never mind. That's not the stake.com Eddie. It doesn't matter. Listen, this is a crypto scammer Eddie. Crypto scammer Eddie here. A different crypto scammer Eddie. Anyway, not Bestie Mike, though. No, Bestie Mike is, as far as I understand, not even remotely related to this. But he will, he is Logan's bestie, so he gets a strike on it. Anyway, so Hold on. Let me finish this. Basically, what ended up fucking happening is they got the two crypto guys in there, and the two crypto guys that they got in there fucked them over so hard that they couldn't even fucking pull. They got out rug pulled before they could do the rug pull. And then NFTs tanked in general. Do you think crypto is a failed project overall? Crypto was a failed project from the start.
And then sold off, kind of like Crypto King. And for my calculations, he made about $1.7 million. Now, I have to tell you that like Jake, I tried to confront him and give him the opportunity to defend himself, but he never replied to my emails or my phone calls, and we're just gonna have to leave it there. But we're not done with the money just yet, because we still need to talk about the eggs. Remember, we talked about how they profited from ZooCoin, but they also made millions from eggs. According to their own internal meeting notes, they plan to make about $3 million selling these eggs for 0.1 ETH a piece. And that's not far from what I calculated they actually did make, which was about $2.5 million. In the meeting notes, they say they're gonna clear expenses and then do payouts. But pay out who? They don't say. And these expenses are referencing an earlier note suggesting Eddie and Logan had both spent $300,000 each, which I'll say is not $1 million. But okay, we'll give it to them, right? So they got paid back their $600,000, but where does the rest of the money go? Well, on the Ethereum side, there's one payout for $364,000 to one wallet and another $1 million to another. They both are Coinbase addresses, so we don't know who exactly that is, but clearly someone on the team made a lot of money from these NFT egg sales that do not work. And on the Binance Smart Chain side, where they also made money selling eggs, the zoo that was spent was supposed to be set aside for 50% to be burned, which they did, but the other 50% was supposed to be allocated for wildlife charities and crypto zoo development. Now, neither seems to have happened because all the money is in a wallet that the team still controls, so there are open questions about, where that money's gonna go and where the Ethereum money went.
Wait, that's what's remaining? Or, oh no, that's like zoo tokens. So what's the worth of that now? It's like 1.3 billion zoo tokens remaining. So what is the worth of that? Is it zero? Don't say it's zero. Stop. It's zero, isn't it? Fuck.
Questions about, where that money's going to go and where the Ethereum money went. Did it go to Jake? Did it go to Logan? Did it go to Jeff? Did it go to Eddie? We don't know. But what I know for sure is that no one was innocent, although there are certainly shades of guilt you can argue about, because of course, not everyone did sell. You could look at that as the most important thing. Logan Paul didn't sell. Jeff, Logan's manager, didn't sell. But does that make them innocent? Well, I don't think so, because they never built a...
Bro, they literally, of course they're not innocent. They very openly talked about like... Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong here, chat, but from what I understand, Logan Paul is guilty on two fronts. One, not even building a product, okay? Claiming that he built a product that was like, that people could use and trade that he never even built. On the second front, he's also guilty of failing to execute a rug pull, even though the intention is absolutely there. The intention was to do a rug pull. It seems pretty fucking obvious that, like, from those conversations, he wanted to... Yeah, exactly. Selling and not selling is literally the difference between fraud and conspiracy to commit fraud. So, yeah, they are guilty, but not the same guilt. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. They still conspired to commit fraud. They conspired to do a rug pull. They failed to do it. The only people that were able to exit, the only people that were able to fucking pull off the rug pull were the two crypto guys.
The game they promised people. Logan Paul specifically got millions of dollars spent on this game on the promise of the technology that he never built, that his team never built. And he never addressed the failure except to blame his developers who weren't paid. And you could say he promised to work backwards to fix it, but then never did. But at the same time, it's clearly not just Logan's fault either, because there are major team issues, right? You've got Eddie, selling millions of dollars of Zoo and then allegedly not paying developers. You've got Jeff, who was warned about it.
CryptoZoo is currently listed at $0.00000000052.
Who kept him on the team anyways, and then after they fired Eddie, seems to also have failed to pay developers on time. And then you've got Crypto King himself, who sold the most, but claims he was the guy who was scammed, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's just like Avengers Assemble for the worst possible team you can imagine to build a crypto.
Dude, that shit was worth $120 million. And then now it's worth $675. Please never talk to me about cryptocurrency being valid ever again, okay? That's it. Oh, that's so crazy. It's so crazy, but it's even crazier that motherfuckers are out here still riding for it. Oh my God.
And so, unsurprisingly, it turns out a lot of these guys backstabbed each other. And so, finding a way to wrap this up was difficult because it's hard to assign exact proportions of blame. Because if you focus on any one person, you kind of miss why this project failed. CryptoZoo, at the end of the day, did not fail because the price went too low. CryptoZoo failed because they never built a functioning game that they promised. Really, the number one problem, even bigger than people selling millions of dollars of tokens, was that they never paid the...
A fake Rolex is worthless. All watches are scams. You cannot be comparing at least like a fake Rolex. It still tells time, okay? Like, I get what you're trying to say here, but at least a fake Rolex is still a tangible physical object that you can touch. You can still fool people into thinking it's a real Rolex. It's a physical thing that exists in the space. You cannot be fucking turning around and comparing that to something that does not exist. Just doesn't exist. Sometimes not even in your minds, okay?
Developers on time, as boring as that is. And as a result, the investors not only got rugged for millions of dollars, which is a problem, but they just didn't get the core thing they had bought from the beginning, which was not a crypto project, but something different.
I'm excited to launch my game.
You keep using and you just did it again. You keep using a word there, game. You're not using like a project. It's a game.
It's a game. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
That's it. That to me is the biggest scam in all of this. Yes, it's a huge problem. People stole millions of dollars.
Mike.
But it's a symptom of the larger issue, which is people didn't actually care about the game or this, whatever you want to call it. They just cared about the money. And this is ultimately what happens when you have an influencer LARPing as a businessman. It's what happens when you have a liar LARPing as a developer. And it's what happens when you have a shady crypto guru LARPing as a crypto king. You end up with a mess. And in my personal opinion, a fraud as well. And now that this thing blew up in their faces, these four seem to be dodging accountability faster than SBF dodges calls with me. Because I have reached out to everyone involved. I've tried to get all of their statements on things. So far, no one has taken accountability or offered to refund the victims at all. They're all hiding, pretending these victims don't even exist. But they do.
Hope that's not how you don't get it. Cryptocurrency is the future of bankruptcy. Just true.
And throughout my investigations, they've been the heartbeat of this whole thing. So I decided to close this investigations in a bit of a unique way. Rather than me deciding who's to blame or me deciding what you should think, I want to give them the last word.
Why would they talk to you, Coffeezilla? Bro, what do you mean? Turns out it's more surprising to Coffeezilla that crypto scammers aren't talking to him, because crypto scammers, including Sam Bankman fraud, love talking to Coffeezilla, bro. I don't understand it. They love talking to him, and in those conversations, subsequently love admitting all the crimes that they are engaging in. Well, they're technically not crimes, but like engaging in all the illicit behavior that should be illegal, but because it's crypto, it's not.
Everyone's to blame. Logan, in the sense of his poor management, it's his project. He still made these promises to people.
I think everyone it is to blame, including Logan Paul, of course, because he was the one in charge of this, and he was responsible for all of this mess.
Everybody has a big part and a massive cross to bear.
Each one of them scammed the project in their own way, and then off to the sunset they went.
It was his job to check the team, to make sure that everyone is working together, to make sure that he is giving the funds of the people that put it into his project under his name to people that he actually trusts. So in my opinion, if the team failed to perform, that's...
Money on your bank account is digital currency. If you want to withdraw all of it, they would tell you it's not possible. Oh my God, it exists on the blockchain. That's really interesting that you bring up money on the fucking bank account. Yeah, those are numbers, but if the bank literally was unable to actually give you the money, okay, there is a concept called the FDIC insurance where the federal government would kick in. You understand that, right? Like you